Today, we're going to try something a little bit new. I'm going to be honest. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning, whichever day I have to record, I sit around for a solid 2 hours just racking my brain about what are we going to do. I try to keep everything relevant with the season or, something that's out there happening currently. But I was thinking one of the things that I really like to watch on YouTube is whenever the creators, they go through their comments or stuff like that and kind of pick it apart, put some input on it, things like that. Hey, as I've told you before, you guys are a family. Everybody that comments, I appreciate it. I read every single one of them. So we're gonna go through your comments today and we are gonna hang out with the fam. So once I decided, let's go through the comments, let's talk to everybody, I went through this morning, I grabbed a handful. If we keep doing this, I'll be able to get to more and more. I obviously can't get to all of them in one episode. So if this is cool, if you like it, if you think it's beneficial, let me know in the comments, and ever so often we'll go through it. But as I'm reading comments on each video, I'll screenshot them and save them for the next one. So I pulled out my phone here. I'm going through it. And the first one I chose, was from David Sabota. And if I murder y'all's names, I'm sorry. But his question was, looking for a new reel, had good luck with Shimano, want to try lose out, what do you think? I think there's a reel for everybody out there. I think if you have good luck with Shimano, if you like Shimano, then who am I to tell you to go away from Shimano? But me personally, the lose that I really like is the lose inshore. Now there's an inshore and there's a custom inshore. The custom inshore is white and blue. I haven't tried that one. It has round knobs on it instead of the flat ones. Me personally, I like the flat ones, so it could be the greatest reel in the world, but since I don't like the way it feels in my hand, I'm probably not gonna use it. But this blue and black lose, this is the OG inshore design right here. This reel has been an absolute tank for myself, my partners, my friends. It holds up, the longevity of it is great. It casts well, it's smooth. And I think it comes in retail like 120, 150 bucks. Could be wrong, but I think it's somewhere in there. So bang for the buck, the lose inshore has been really good for me. Oh, and by the way, I saved some cool stuff for the end, so hang out. John Parkoff, he's become a good buddy of Captain Caleb TV and the Bite Me Saltwater Fishing Podcast. So John always has a lot to add. Appreciate you, John. John says, good stuff as always. I have several Tide apps, but they are nowhere as in-depth as this. Thanks. Well, John, most all Tide apps are in-depth. That's what it's about, John. It's depth. That's what the Tide is. No, I'm just kidding you, John. I couldn't help. I love puns. I couldn't help the irony there. But hey, thanks for the comments. Thanks for all the support. We love you on both platforms. Thanks, John. Next one, Greg Hamilton. When you tie a leader to mainline, does it inhibit the cast? Meaning, does it not hit the guide, slowing the line on the cast? Maybe a little bit. I haven't really noticed any casting difference. When I cast out of here, tick, 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 that's about it. But it doesn't really seem to inhibit the cast as long as you're using, either the knot that I showed you or something else that's kind of small. It's not as intrusive, because what you're hearing is there's one little tag line left that's faced down the end of the rod, so it's going to tick, tick, tick through a couple of guides. But I haven't really noticed it hurting the distance of the cast. Jinja Ninja. Awesome video. I heard you mention on Bite Me that you're going to be doing trips with this winter with you and Pat. How can we get in on this? Very easy. Captain Caleb TV or CaptainCaleb.com. Go check it out there. Come to my Facebook page. Message me on Facebook. Super easy. We'll talk about it. Kevin Bennett. Great video. You, sir, are the Bill Dance of inshore fishing. Well, if you're talking about falling out of the boat and snakes and breaking all my cameras and using a lot of words that have to be bleeped out, yes, sir, I am the Bill Dance of saltwater fishing. David Sabota again. Oh, hey, David. You got it twice. I didn't even understand it. Hey, thanks for commenting on everything. Love the video. Do you keep the drift or hit the power pole when you get the bite? So the video was about, I'm drifting along, I catch some fish, and I like to come around and hit it again. Now, my general rule of thumb is this. If I'm drifting along and fishing and I see something in front of me that tells me there's several fish there, then I'm immediately going to power pole down and fish. If I'm with customers or friends and there's 2 or 3 or 4 of us in the boat and 2 people hook up, I'm power poling down and I'm going to fish it out. If we just catch 1 fish, I'm probably not going to, unless it was predetermined in my mind that there's a good reef, a good gut, good something coming up, and if there's fish here, there's going to be a bunch of fish here. Now, one thing that I have the advantage on is I have 2 power poles in the back of my boat. So as long as it's not real windy, when I stick them both down, my boat is going to stay even with the target out there, and everybody's going to be able to fish it. If you're by yourself, obviously this doesn't matter. But if you power pole down with just one, with that wind pushing behind you, and you have multiple people on the boat, then that boat's going to swing around, and you're probably going to end up hurting your chances of catching more fish than helping your chances, if that makes sense. So David, hey, thanks for all the comments. I didn't even know you got in here twice. Dylan Matocha? It's Matoka. I think it's Matoka. What type of boat do you plan on getting next? Dylan, I'm going with another JH Outlaw. This one's going to be 2 feet longer with a couple more horses on the back for tournament purposes, but it's still going to be another JH Outlaw with the mid-tower, almost the exact same setup I showed you. A couple little fancier upgrades, but, that's pretty much it. Laguna Flats Tackle. Love the videos with Mike. Do you use ceramic bearings in your reels? Thanks. I've used them before. I liked them at first. I didn't really see the benefits in them that made me want to keep using them, and the added expense and all that. The ceramic bearings are cool. Me, being a guy that's been doing this, through the, just seeing the reels evolve. I've always been into putting lube and stuff on my bearings. So whenever I got the ceramics and they said run them dry, I just didn't like the idea of it. Plus, whenever I casted it, I could still hear those bearings in that race just sounding, it just didn't sound right to me. And again, I didn't really see a lot of benefits in the ceramics. Now, before you get in the comments and light me up on this, I didn't try everyone's. I tried the Bocas and I tried a couple other ones. The only thing about it is, unless something's changed, is the ball bearings in the bearing are ceramic, but the race is still stainless steel. So, and then the race is the actual round part that the bearings are sitting in. So it doesn't become a completely maintenance-free bearing because there is still metal in it. So long story short, I use the bearings that come stock in the reels. If Mike has to replace one for me, then he uses whatever he uses, but it's still pretty close to an OEM part, I believe. BFS. Okay, this is a longer one here. Great video. Thanks for taking the time to make it and share information with all of us. One question I have. In the video, you both talked about reducing the drag when not being used. So he's talking about the video I did with Mike on Reel Care. Would this be the same principle to apply to our spinning reels? Do we need to reduce the drag on it as it sits in storage until we can get back down there and saltwater fish? I know that you have a lot going, but I hope you and Mike get some time to cover some maintenance on spinning reels like you did for the bait casting reels. Thanks again. Thank you, BFS. I'll absolutely do a spinning reel maintenance video, because I'm gonna be honest, they're kind of a mystery to me as well. That being said, I had some Penn Battle 2s and some Penn Fierces. Those are the 2 sets of reels I've used throughout the years that I've been guiding, and it was the same 2 sets. I can't say that I ever backed the drag off of them once. I would get them out of the boat and throw them in the truck. My thought on it was these reels didn't cost much, and I'm not sponsored by Penn, but I think the Fierces I paid like $50 for. So I was thinking, when they wear out, I'll just get more. A lot of guys really like disposable spinning reels, so I would just throw them in my truck, and that set of reels lasted me about 4 years. The Fierces did, and I never really had any problems with them. Now, as with anything, an outboard motor, anything like that, if you're using it all the time and the parts are continuing to move, then you're probably gonna have less problems than if they sit up. So while I don't think you really need to worry about loosening that drag off a lot, maybe proceed on the side of caution and go ahead and back them off if you know you're not gonna be using them for, a couple weeks or whatever. Joey Victoria. Would you recommend following the factory guidelines on the size of braid for your baitcaster to avoid backlashing? I like throwing the lightest line possible on any reel, but I do have trouble for, say, example, putting 10-pound braid on a baitcaster rated for 20-pound. Not a science guy, man. I use 30 pound on everything. And the reason I do that is when I do backlash it, that 30 pound isn't dug and making a big of a mess as the lighter braid would. If you're using lighter braid than what it's rated for, which we'll have to ask Mike why a baitcaster is even rated for something, because again, I'm a fisherman, I'm not an engineer. But just maybe tighten down that side knob like I showed you on the video, maybe tighten up the brakes a little bit and just play with it until you get it just right. But the biggest reason that I don't use 10 or 20 pound braid is because yes, it will backlash and it's much harder to get out than the 30 pound is. All right, Mike Berry, what color gulp do you recommend? Mike, I'm using whatever I got in my boat. That being said, 90% of the time out of my boat and my partner's boats, we're throwing white gulps. White 3-inch gulps is what we throw almost all the time. They have the molting color, which is kind of green on the back and gray on the bottom. That one does pretty well for us too, but I'm using the white 3 inches almost all the time. Live to fish, live to fish. I like that you live to fish so much that you live to fish twice. Hats off to you, sir. This was your calling. We are all looking for something we could do a little better and different to increase our bite. Keep it up, Cap. Wish there was a tip box for all the tips. Very appreciated. Topic: bait migration and fishing through different seasons. Live to fish, we are absolutely going to do bait migration and fishing through different seasons. I'm kind of letting the fall get a little bit closer so that what I'm conveying to you guys is a little bit more fresh on your mind in the fall. But I know why I picked this. I like the idea of a tip jar because I'm going to be honest with you. I can make more money mowing grass for my grandma than I make on YouTube. I don't know. I've had 3 or 4 requests. I really don't know how to handle this. I'm not trying to take from you guys. I'm genuinely just trying to help everybody out and to see what happens. Maybe I'll give you my mailbox out there and you can send me a postcard or something, or I don't know. If y'all think that this is something you really would like to do, then maybe I can set up a PayPal or something. I'm really not into Patreon and all that stuff, but heck, I don't know. But Live to Fish, thank you for, the kind thought and being so generous. I really like that, somebody's into giving back, but at the end of the day, I'm not trying to take y'all's money, spend it on your rods and reels and lures and stuff. Thank you though. Ralph Singleton Jr. Hey Cap, I'm a new subscriber to your channel and have a suggestion to a video that might be useful to some, if not many. I'm an avid sight fisherman in South Louisiana. On tough days, when it seems like the fish do not want any lures you have. Then it seems like each lure spooks the fish. Is there a suggestion or tactics to properly casting at redfish or fish in general to give yourself a proper advantage? Hope to hear from you. Best regards. Ralph, it happens to all of us. I need to do a video that says, hey guys, this is all a suggestion. Fish are jerks. They can be. It happens to every one of us. This happened to me in multiple tournaments where day 1 we came in and just, hammered good fish. Day 2, the same fish were there, and I promise you, I'd throw it in front of their nose and I'd bring it right back past them, and they'd just kind of push it out of the way and keep going. One thing I would do, change up your presentation, maybe burn it past them, see if you can get a reaction. Maybe slow it down and dance it in front of them. Maybe just, keep messing around quietly without really getting, without really disturbing the water and all that stuff until just the bite window turns on. Yesterday or the day before, Robert and I went and fished, and there were fish there. They wouldn't eat a thing, but that morning there had been thunderstorms, so it had shut them down for the day, and there wasn't a thing that we could do about it. All right, I get this question a lot. This is from Mark Watson. I was wondering what brand and model is your fishing platform? He's talking about the sight casting tower on the front. That is built by Custom Marine Concepts in Tomball. I get this question once or twice a day. Justin over at Custom Marine Concepts in Tomball, he'd be happy to take care of you. Justin, if you want to sponsor me, that thing is expensive, call me. All right, and we're wrapping it up here. What is that thing you're wearing on your right hand and why? He's talking about the big brace that I wear. My wife made me open a pickle jar. It almost killed me. Now my wrist is messed up. It's, macho. All right, this one, a little bit deeper. I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, but he's talking about the Corky video. I watch your videos on Corkies. One thing that gets me confused is a lure rating. The Corky Fat Boy weighs 7/8 of an ounce. I'm going to paraphrase here. Almost all of my rods are rated for half an ounce. What will that hurt the rod? No, it won't. It's not that much weight difference. Instead of looking at the lure or weight rating that's on a rod, I never do that. It's just feel. If it feels like that rod's loading up and doing okay, then then I'll use it. I wouldn't worry too much about those numbers. And then Bcast 61. Unless that Google Earth image was taken yesterday, it's worthless. Stop talking just to hear yourself talk. Well, Bcast, one, I looked at your channel and it looks like you're on the East Coast somewhere, Carolinas, something like that. So there's a lot more current, a lot more going on over there on that East Coast that, messes with y'all's sandbars and stuff like that. The Gulf Coast, those will hang a little bit more. So, the channel is geared more towards the Gulf Coast. I'm sorry, they don't all work out for you. But as far as stopping and talking just to hear myself talk, I tried that. I did like 3 videos where nobody could hear me talk, and it seemed to really upset everyone. So I'm kind of confused as to what y'all want from me. I mean, you want to hear me or not? I don't know. But that's it. Hey, to me, this is a lot of fun. I love interacting with every single one of you. Thank you so much for your comments. Keep them coming. I just can't explain to you how much it means to me just that somebody takes the time out of their day to, address something that I did. So let me know if this thing works out for y'all. Let me know, and we will catch you on the next one.